Hey guys, if you're watching this video, chances are you've been wanting to start your own Airbnb arbitrage or co-hosting business, and you're looking for more inspiration as to what's possible. So that's exactly what this video is all about. My name is Vince, and I scaled to a now seven-figure Airbnb portfolio using arbitrage and co-hosting. And what I want to do is actually just walk you through my entire 2-year journey, because it was only 2 years ago when I had absolutely no clue what the heck to do. I had no clue where to start. I had no Airbnbs, but now I quite literally live the life of my dreams, full autonomy. And yeah, I have a complete control over my time and location. But I'm not saying that to gloat. I actually want to walk you through this same journey so that you can replicate it and hopefully achieve the dreams that you set out to, because I can at least tell you through experience for myself and many of the people within our own community with Airpreneur that this is possible, right? So without further ado, let's dive into my story so that way you can repeat this story for yourself, right? So it was only 2 years ago when I quite literally launched my very first Airbnb. So at the time of this recording, it's March 2025, and this photo is from January 2023, where I shipped a bunch of furniture to a storage unit and I was getting ready to set up my first Airbnb. But now here in 2025, just 2 years later, I now have a 7-figure Airbnb portfolio across 4 cities. I'm actually offered multiple apartment complexes to arbitrage in very often, and I'm selective about that now because I like to chill a little bit. And I, again, live the life that I've always wanted, which is like full control over my schedule, my time, etc. It's allowed me to focus on my health and other things as well. And I know that many of you watching this are probably watching this because you want the same thing, and that's why I'm telling you this. So, but before I kind of dive into the specifics about Airbnb, I kind of want to explain why I even chose Airbnb. Why not Amazon FBA or drop shipping or any of that other stuff? Or why not like real estate in general? Or why even Airbnb arbitrage, right? And let me kind of explain through my specific example. Is I've always had an interest in getting into real estate. I always thought that real estate was the path to wealth and freedom. And this is actually a photo of me inside my very first duplex. I don't know why I'm making this face, but when I was in my mid-20s, I literally saved up, or I took every dollar that I saved up, and I put it into purchasing my very first investment property. So I put it as a down payment, and I bought a duplex. I lived in one unit, I rented out the other, and I was prepared to move out and rent it completely. And ultimately, guys, this property, it drained me emotionally and financially. And here's why, right? So all of the cash flow, it vanished because of all my expenses, and I had no monthly income. So here's the things: even though the property makes $500 to $700 a month in cash flow each month, guess what? Once per year, a major expense will come up that's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. The roof, the plumbing, the electric, the deck. You know, like for example, I would save up a decent amount of money by the end of the year, and then it would just all get vanished into an expense. So even though it's making $500 a month, I don't actually earn any cash flow from it, right? And then the other thing is it's not repeatable, right? I spent all of my savings. Like I literally scrounged all of my savings together to get this property, and I bought the property, and now what? Now I have to wait another 5 years to get 50, 60K again. So it just wasn't repeatable and scalable as quickly as I'd like. Again, I'm not cutting on real estate completely. It's just that if your objective is to move fast and now, it's just not really the most fast-moving model, right? So now the final thing here is my progress towards financial freedom is slow, right? Again, only making $500 a month, not really going to make a dent. So that's when the light bulb went off for me, which is like, okay, buying property is the tool for wealth. Now, wealth, aka retirement, it's long-term. It's about having money down the line. There's nothing wrong with that. But high monthly income, high monthly cash flow can equal to freedom. That means time now, right? And that's what I realized we needed in order to actually have the lifestyle that I wanted. And that's when the light bulb went off for me, and that's when I kind of decided I need to think of a high cash flow vehicle, because more cash flow now could lead to more buying of properties, right? So that's when I learned of Airbnb arbitrage. A friend of mine, who is my business partner throughout this whole entire adventure, taught me about arbitrage because he found it online. And basically, here's the concept in a nutshell. So if you're not familiar with it, I'm just going to reiterate it here. Airbnb arbitrage, simple concept where instead of buying a property, we're going to rent it, we're going to furnish it, list it on Airbnb, and then profit monthly, right? So I'm going to find a property for rent, put furniture in it, get it on Airbnb, list it on Airbnb and make some profit. Now, co-hosting is similar, but the property's furnished by the owner. I'm going to list it on Airbnb and just split the profits with them. So I don't sign a lease, I don't invest any money at all, but I take a smaller percentage than I would with arbitrage, right? It's super simple. Now, here's the thing, is both of these models translate to high monthly cash flow. And that's when I was like, dude, this is what I want to go after, right? So now let's talk about the beginning of the journey. And from somebody, like if you're sitting, if you're watching this on the other side of the camera and you're like, dude, I know nothing about Airbnb, I know nothing about where to start, I don't even know what my game plan should look like, then this part's for you, because I'm going to walk you through exactly what I did, because I was in your shoes. So this photo of me launching my first Airbnb, here was the 2023 action plan, right, in January. And I kid you not, this is exactly what I did. This is a 6-figure strategy right here. I selected a major city within 3 to 4 hours of where we lived. We found available properties for rent on the MLS. We blast messaged all of them, all available rentals. And if they responded, we called them, even if they said no. So I called everybody and I would send them a message. I'd say, hey, I'm Vince. I run a short-term rental management company. I'd like to rent a property listed on Airbnb. And this means the property will be passive for you, right? That's quite literally all I said. And guys, now, just a disclaimer here, my strategy now would be a little bit more efficient, and like what I teach now is way more efficient, but this was my strategy not knowing anything. So I bulk scheduled property tours on the weekend, right? So I'd blast message the property owners, I'd call them, and I'd bulk schedule tours on the weekend because I was working full time. I'm sure you're working full time as well. And I would drive out to the city on a Friday night. We would stay Saturday. We would tour all the properties on Saturday, and we would close deals on Sunday. That is it. And here's the thing, is at the time of when we did this, we didn't know jack about how to analyze properties, how to analyze markets, any of that stuff. We didn't, guys, there was no us sitting there trying to crunch numbers and do all this other stuff. We literally just said, we're picking a major city, there's gotta be demand, let's just go for it. That's it. And here's the thing, is you can be way more efficient about this now, and reflecting on this, we are way more efficient about this now. We make sure that properties make a certain amount of money before we take them now. But the point is, we didn't even have the best strategy in the world. We just rolled with what we had, right? Sometimes we always wait for the lights to be perfectly green in all scenarios in life, but we didn't, and we just went for it. Now, here's exactly what happened when we implemented that exact action plan. Over the next couple of months, we landed a property. We'd meet with the property owner. We built a relationship with them. They gave us a property to rent. We'd get it live on Airbnb. And then we did it again. And then we did it again. And we just repeated this process for 3 months. So month 1, we launched 3 properties. Month 2, we launched another 3 properties. Month 3, we launched another 3 properties, just by implementing the exact same strategy that's right here. That's it. So my favorite part about this whole journey, though, is to date, I've literally spent less than 10K out of pocket. This is completely true. Even to date, with this 7-figure portfolio that we now have and 40, 50 Airbnbs, I don't even know anymore, I've spent less than 10K out of pocket. And here's exactly how we did it. Create an LLC. I use that new LLC to apply for business credit cards through Chase, Amex, banks like that. We get approved for a 0% interest credit card for your business for 12 months. And then I just use that card to buy all the furniture. The only thing I needed my cash for were the first couple of security deposits. So it was a few $1,000s. And that was it. That was the exact strategy we used to finance or to furnish properties for $0 and to land 9 to 10 properties, right? And it's not rocket science. This was the game plan we had, because we didn't have a professional plan. We just kind of rolled with what we had. So now here are the results of exactly what I just talked about. Is by the end of month 3, in April, we had 10 Airbnbs live, right? We landed 3, then I think we landed 4. And then by the end of month 6, we hit our first $250,000 in revenue, which is insane, right? We just started this brand new business. I remember opening up the Airbnb app and it said over the last several months, year to date, you did 250,000 in revenue. I was like, dude, this is insane. We did this, And by the end of month 9, year 1's not even over yet, we had 12 Airbnbs live because we just repeated the process again. So now here's some things upon reflection, right? I know you're sitting and watching this and you're not here yet, but you're like, okay, what are some things you could tell me? What are some tips you can give me if I'm starting from 0? And these are 3 very important things that I think will tremendously help you on your journey. The first thing is most of these deals came from the same landlords, right? Guys, I'm not some master salesperson, master Airbnb, arbitrager, etc. I was a total noob at the time. These 12 Airbnbs came from, I think, the same 4 landlords. All we did was reach out to a landlord, we built a relationship with them. We said, give us a property. And then as we grew a little bit and as we spent more time, they would say, hey man, I've got another one. Do you want it? So all we did is really build 4 relationships to get to this point, which is pretty substantial. The other thing is momentum is key. Notice how I didn't say we launched one Airbnb, we waited 6 months and then we did it again. No. We did 3 and then immediately repeated it again the next month, and then immediately repeated it again the month after. The point is we had momentum. Ride the wave. Don't stay stagnant. Don't, take a breather. You've got goals to hit. You got to keep moving, right? Now, finally, this is an important tip for really anything in life, especially if you're in sales, is more conversations equals more opportunities. The more conversations you have, the more opportunities will come your way. It's just the law of averages. It's the law of numbers, right? So just have more conversations with more people and more things will be offered to you, right? Now, that's the end of my first 9 months in business when we hit our first, $250,000. But how did we get from that to 7 figures? And that's when we entered the scaling stage, right? So this is cool. If you're following along so far, you're probably like, this is pretty neat. This is how you get to like a 6-figure Airbnb business. But how do I really grow this thing? Like if your objective is like, dude, I want to hit 20, 30, 40, 50K per month in cash flow, what do I have to do? And this is the exact formula for that. And I'm going to walk through exactly how we stumbled upon it. Quite literally. So this is when we introduced the apartment complex arbitrage strategy. Now, this is different. Before, we were focusing primarily on houses, reaching out to a single landlord, renting the house, getting it live. But now what we decided to do was reach out to apartment complexes that allow Airbnb, and then we'd lease 5 to 10 of them and arbitrage them all in one handshake. Now, this is actually a pretty cool strategy because, first off, you're taking on units in volume, which allows you to grow way faster. So let me give you an example. If you find an apartment that will do $40,000 a year on Airbnb, but then you sign 10 of them, you just added $400,000 to your business in one handshake. One handshake. It allows you to move way more fast, way more quickly, and scale way more quickly. And then the second thing is the negotiation leverage. If I go to in that same example, if I go to an apartment complex and I take 10 apartments from them, guess what? Now they're going to give me 2 to 3 months rent for free. Now they're going to give me lower rents. Now I'm going to have next to nothing for security deposits. Now I'm going to be able to negotiate everything. And if you negotiate all that stuff down, way more profits for you. See how this makes sense? So this photo, if you ever stumbled upon it on social media or whatnot, this was actually at the end of my very first year in Airbnb. We landed our first apartment complex arbitrage deal for 7 apartments. And this was me inside the unit, all pumped up. I was stoked. It was our first Airbnb apartment deal. Now, hang tight. More on this later because this was actually a very pivotal moment, which we had come to find out later. And I'll show you once you see the numbers. It's pretty wild. So by the end of year 1, though, we now had a total of 20 Airbnbs live. Now, you probably thought, hey, Vince, this is when you really hit the ground running and you scaled and you hit 7 figures and all that stuff. And not really. As a matter of fact, this is by the end of year 1. So the beginning of 2024, I just chilled. I just enjoyed life. I was like, you know what? I don't really want to keep growing from here. I got what I wanted out of this. I just want to keep riding the wave a little bit. I want to live life. I want to, travel, things like that. And that's honestly what I did. I just took a break for a long time, which goes against the advice I gave you earlier, right? Until I got a text I will never forget. So in August 2024, I got a text from one of the property managers that I built a relationship with, and she said, hey, would you guys be interested in taking on some new units in Philly at a brand new property near the waterfront? And I said, thanks for reaching out. Would love to take a look. Can you send me some details? Little did I know that was actually a 36-unit apartment arbitrage deal. And for proof, there's an entire video. We documented the whole thing, the whole process. It was a lot of fun. And honestly, it was a super, enjoyable experience. As a matter of fact, we brought a lot of our mentorship students in on that deal and gave them their own apartments. So we only took 10 and then we gave a bunch of others to our other students. So it was a lot of fun. We got to help out some people and turn their business into multi-6 figures overnight, which was really, really wholesome, honestly. Now, but here's the wildest thing, right? The whole 36-unit deal sounds really cool. But here's actually the craziest thing is, remember that deal we got back in 2023, our first apartment complex deal? Well, guess what? Now we had a full calendar year to see what the numbers produced on that 7-unit deal. And those 7 units cash flowed us $90K in 1 year. Those 7 apartments cash flowed us $8,000 a month in cash flow net profit, which means that's when we realized the apartment complex arbitrage is the wave of 2025, 2026. Honestly, guys, this opportunity is huge. We'll run low on battery. This opportunity is huge, and I'm going to keep riding that wave, while it's here. So as a matter of fact, at the time of this recording, we just finished setting up another 12 unit deal. We just signed on a new 12 units. We launched the first 8, and I'm going to keep riding this wave, guys. Apartment complex arbitrage is the opportunity that is huge right now. So at the time of me filming this video, we've been offered 50 plus apartments over the last 2 months, which is true. I've had to turn down a lot of deals because I just can't afford to keep taking on too many deals. It's really time consuming, but we just launched a new 12 unit deal, which is awesome. And we're continuing to grow, and so are the people in our community who are leveraging this model. So I hope you guys found this inspiring and ultimately gave you an example about what's possible. So if you're ready to start your own Airbnb portfolio, I've actually got 2 options for you that you can take advantage of right away. And the first is free. As a matter of fact, you can click a link below in the description of this video to join our Facebook group. We go live in it once per week. We reveal all the strategies on how we scaled our own portfolio, and we release a lot of cool free resources and tools in there as well. Now, this is a lot slower. This will take you probably 2 to 3 years like it took me. You're probably going to make the same mistakes I made in 2 to 3 years. You're probably going to lose a lot of money like we did in 2 to 3 years, but at least, you can keep a little bit more money in your pocket now if that is your MO. Or you could actually just accelerate your growth pretty tremendously. So instead of 3 years, you could probably cut that down to like 6 months, and actually be handheld through the process of creating a 6-figure Airbnb business. And that is through our dedicated one-on-one mentorship. Actually, Richard, who's in the photo here, is the same Richard that's in one of our other videos where he talks about how he now makes $50K per month on Airbnb, and he's only been with us for about a year. So he's actually one of several students in that same boat of making $50K or more, which is pretty awesome and just amazing to see. Now, if you're interested in this, go ahead and look for a link somewhere below this video to schedule a free strategy session with me and my team. It's a totally free call, guys. There's no pressure. Basically, it's just for us to assess whether or not it's even a fit for you and if it aligns with your goals. But if it does, we'd love to have you aboard. We're pretty selective about who joins, so just fill out the application prior to the call and we'll see you on that call. But otherwise, I hope this inspires you as to what's possible with Airbnb and with me and my team. Guys, please go after what it is that you're out to get. I can promise you in a very short time frame, things can change very quickly.